Hello. I don't want to make this video because I got a giant zit right there in the most inconvenient spot, and it's huge. I look so stupid. I also haven't shaved in like 2 weeks. It's been a very stressful couple of days. So you know what I decided to do? I decided to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I felt obligated to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, considering I owe everything to Five Nights at Freddy's. So, I kind of felt obligated to go, well, to go and watch, but unfortunately, no one felt like going. So I'm just sitting here watching it on my computer on Peacock because for some reason they're still releasing movies the same time that they're releasing them in theaters. They're still releasing them at the same time on streaming services, which I don't know how the movie, like theaters, the industry can even, be sustainable in that regard. So I didn't get the true experience, I guess. I didn't get the true big screen experience. I didn't have popcorn either, so it kind of was, not fun in that regard. Man, I wanted this to be good. Just because of how stupid it would be if it was good. And unfortunately, well, it really wasn't that good. I don't think anyone expected it to be good. From the moment that it was announced that there was going to be a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, I think everyone was like, this is not going to get the Sonic treatment. Something tells me this is not going to get the Sonic treatment and actually be good. Wow. So, going into this, my biggest question was, what are they going to do through the entire movie? Because you're taking a game. You're taking a game that can be completed in like under a half hour, like a full playthrough under a half hour, and you're going to turn that into a feature-length presentation. And there are ways that they could have gone about this. And this could have actually, I think there is a way that this could have worked, all right? Now, hear me out. What they should have done, I'm going to front load this with all the stuff that I actually want to talk about instead of talking about the movie. So, that's your spoiler alerts there. It's all going to be later in the movie. Everything at the start is going to be me whinging on what they should have done. What they should have done was make it an R-rated movie. Now, they should have leaned into it. And they should have made this a real hardcore film, because at times I feel like it takes itself a little bit too seriously, and there was no point at all that I was taking any of this seriously. I think it should have been a campy 80s style movie, 80s horror film type thing with just over the top gore. Would have been just top tier stuff. I mean, I don't know. I just like campy 80s horror movies, all right? I'm sorry. But the reason that I think that they should have leaned into an R rating is because of the target demographic. Who was playing this game when it was popular back in 2014? Who was playing this game? Who was consuming Five Nights at Freddy's content? Kids in like the 8-year-old to like 14-year-old demographic. How old are those people now? The people that were consuming Five Nights at Freddy's media back in 2014 are the 18, 19, 20-year-olds of today. So everyone that has any kind of emotional connection to Five Nights at Freddy's from the actual games are gonna be adults. So if it's a rated R movie, the people that care the most can go to it. And why not lean into that then? Why not lean into an R rating? It's a horror. Isn't it supposed to be a horror movie? Because it has all the beats of a horror movie. It's like, oh man, we're in a strange place, and like there are jump scares with items that aren't actually scary. They had the balloon kid twice. They had the balloon kid in there, but the balloon kid wasn't part of the actual like festivities of the film. It was just a jump scare device. And like they could have done a lot with this. And I feel like they were limited by budget. They were limited by budget in this movie. That's really the most disappointing thing about it, is that with a higher budget and like more ambition, this could have been amazing. Because I'm telling you, man, the potential for this is higher than you would imagine. See, like the Five Nights at Freddy's universe expanded so much between my video and today. See, what I wanted to, the reason that I watched this movie, because I wanted to see if there was a reference to me. I was hoping there'd be a reference to me. I was hoping like a single person would like have a smiley face sticker or something, or like a pin or like a picture of a smiley face in the background. I was gonna point at that and be like, wait. But like they didn't even reference Markiplier, and there's just like, wait a minute. They didn't reference anything. Was Markiplier even a part of this? I was hoping that when they announced this movie would come in, that they would fucking get some people. Get some people that were in the, you know, the cultural influence for this game. Because the game itself wasn't going to be anything, you know, amazing. It was a fine game when it came out. It wasn't anything spectacular, though. It had a great trope of the, you know, animatronics. I've been to a Chuck E. Cheese twice in my entire life. So I don't really have any emotional connection to animatronics. Also, I'm like 26, so, you know, so I don't exactly have that connection. But you see, that is lore. That is Americana at its finest. Is like animatronics being scary, you know. They are very uncanny in nature. It's a great concept, and the game plays fine. It's Night Trap, but like not Night Trap, like you're the one that's being trapped. It's very interesting. It was a very interesting concept from the beginning. And the reason that it got big isn't because it was, you know, a good game, a functional game, or like actually like some sort of experience. It was YouTubers that made it big. Like, same thing for Slender Man. Same thing for like Flappy Bird, you know. Remember when Flappy Bird was the only thing anyone played? Do you remember that? I remember that month-long period where everyone played it. Everyone. It was a period. The point that I'm trying to make is that YouTuber representation was needed here, but in all likelihood, that would have drugged the experience down. I appreciate the fact that this was presented as a serious film, and it wasn't just like a YouTuber passion project type thing. You know, like all those, like the Smosh feature-length films, or like a Fred movie or something. Like, this film could stand on its own merits. It's not just, you know, it's just not just some random dude from California that has a bunch of people that stalk him on the internet. It's just not that. It's not that. It's an actual production, which I can appreciate. But I think that there are things that are lost in translation as a result. They tried to make a serious story with this. And like, I'm sitting back, like, the other question that I had is, how are they going to make this work? How are they going to transform a game that takes place in like under a half an hour into a full-length film? And the way that they did that was a complete departure. I got something in my eye and it's fucking me up, dude. It was a complete departure from the actual games. The plot of this film is we follow this dude, and he has night terrors every night, but he intentionally gives himself the night terrors because there's some sort of idea that he's basically just doing lucid dreaming every night. Like, it's really unusual. Like, this is really the plot that we're going with for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? This has nothing to do with Five Nights at Freddy's. And Scott Cawthon was actually, like, directly involved. Like, he was a producer, he was a writer of the script, he was directly involved in everything. So you can't say that this was not the intent of the artiste. This was absolutely... I think, like, Scott had to sign off on everything that happened for this movie. So he directly had an impact on the story that has absolutely nothing to do with any Five Nights at Freddy's game. To my knowledge, I haven't studied up on the lore after a while. It's been years. I haven't played the game since like 2017. I never even played the fourth one. I played the like action RPG Five Nights at Freddy's World. That was the last thing that I played for this channel. And like I don't know what it has to do with the games. The story has nothing to do with the games. And like, I appreciate that they tried to tie everything together in the plot, but I feel like it's a bit on the forced side. It was a neat coincidence, you know? It's some of the stuff that happens is a neat coincidence, but so much of it is very forced. A lot of the plot feels like it happens because it has to happen for the rest of the movie to take place. It's you know, stuff doesn't happen to, there aren't like beats that allow a story to take place. The beats exist. I don't know how to explain this, but it's weird. The entire experience is surreal, to say the least. And like, I don't really know what to think, man. I do like how they kinda it does feel like it felt pretty heavy-handed. All of the all of the foreshadowing in this film was incredibly heavy-handed. Like it was trying to hold the hand of the audience the entire time. Like it was really trying hard to like keep the audience like, oh, this is what's happening, this is what's happening. Because it's a wild storyline in this film. I don't know how much I want to give away because I feel like this is something that you should watch. I think you should watch this. And honestly, I laughed a lot. I laughed so much throughout this movie. This might be the funniest movie I've seen in a long time. And it's definitely not trying to be funny. But I feel like I bring it back to the conversation about campy 80s movies. I feel like if they leaned into it, it would have been a lot more fun. I think they could have taken a real good direction. I think the acting wasn't terrible. It could have been better. There's a lot of child actors in this film, and a good child actor is fucking, it's difficult to come across. There's a few, you have to go through the weeds to find them, is what I'm trying to say. But like, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't awful. Like, they obviously got the best people possible to do the actual like speaking roles and like the meaningful stuff. But like, at the same time, like, some of it was like, oh my, this is happening. This is indeed happening. So, I mean, so much of this could be fixed with just a couple of minor tweaks. Just a couple of minor. I think just making it. I think if the movie was more aware of the fact that it was that of the concept of how stupid everything was about this, if it was more aware of that and didn't try to present itself in the way that it did, I think it would have been a lot better. Now, I will say, I kind of fanboyed out a couple of times, like when they started talking about when they showed the yellow rabbit for the first time. I was like, "Oh, dude, I know who that is. I know who that is." And it's like, but what are they doing with this? And like, the twist at the end is annoying. It's just like, really, really. I'm trying to not reveal as much of this movie as possible because I do think you should watch. I think you should watch this. I'm not getting paid to say that either. I think you should, because if you have cared at all about this franchise as a whole, if you've ever been enamored by Five Nights at Freddy's, give it a shot, because there's so much. It's a pretty fan service heavy film, I think. I think it's a pretty fan service heavy film. Like, everything's there. All the recognizable stuff is there. Everything that it's a. But like, it could have been better, is what I'm trying to say. And that it really doesn't make sense. Like, the start of the movie is a security guard who's, working the place. But they They obviously kill him, because of course they do. But, like, as the film goes on, the animatronics are presented in a malevolent way. And I'm not sure what the reason is that they kill that security guard. That's what I'm wondering. Why do they kill that security guard? Is it just because that's what they do? But that's not what they do in the film. There is a lot more. See, the thing is that they had to give character to the animatronics. And I don't think they necessarily had to do that. I think if you just completely take the animatronics out of it, and if it's going to be ghosts, just I mean, I know the child actors weren't that good, but yeah, I think it would have made more sense than having the animatronics be the center of attention for the majority of the film. And the problem that I have is that there is a scene where I haven't even mentioned this yet. There is an old lady. There's like a Karen, basically. There's a blonde Karen, and she has a lawyer, and they are the two best characters of this entire thing. Every single time that they're on the screen, gold. Absolutely gold. The Karen and her lawyer were the best part of this film. By absolutely. Without a doubt. What they were just fantastic. I really enjoyed them. But where was I going with that? Yeah, so they try to pay off these teenagers and like a really old fat guy to go in to the Fazbear Pizza and vandalize it. And that's when the animatronics are alive for the first time. And of course they kill them. But like, that part is when I realized, oh no, this film needed a higher budget. Because I feel like if they'd done, I don't know how they did this, but like, they really tried to emulate the first game's style, which is really stilted. They're really stilted. The animatronics are super stilted. I don't know if it was CG or if it was practical effects to make the animatronics exist. But like, the way that they move in, this scene, it's so stilted, and like they're not like it's clear that they're not moving their appendages while they're walking. Like they're just static figures. It's like the Babadook movie, where the Babadook never actually is just like a prop, is never actually like a thing. Like, I don't know. I guess I didn't think anyone was expecting Babadook spoilers in this video, but I'm sorry, it happened. I feel like if they'd done CG there and made them like, oh my goodness, I'm an evil thing, I think that would have been a lot more fun. And that's probably where the budget limitations came in. But they tried to emulate the first game style, which I think is the worst. It makes sense. But like, as the games went along, as the games progressed, they got a lot better on the animation side of things. They got a lot more, movement got a lot more heavy. I think like the low frame, stilted movements of the animatronics in the first game actually did a good job of lending creepy factor to them. But in a production like this, in like this kind of setting, like, everything else is photorealistic because it's literally, it's not an animated movie, it's a live action movie. Everything else is realistic, but the animatronics are still moving all stilted and stuff. It doesn't feel right. It just really takes you out of the experience. That's my biggest criticism of this movie, is that the budget was low such that they did not keep you in the experience, and like the writing wasn't great, and everything, it was so stupid. There were so many stupid things that happened. During the scene that I'm talking about, there is the babysitter lady, and she's slowly looking into Fazbear, and the hand reaches out and grabs her, pulls her in, and the animatronic bites down and cuts her in half. I laughed so hard at that, dude. I could not contain myself from that one, dude. If I'd seen that in the theater, I actually would have looked like an insane person. Like, we went to the Smile movie last year. We went to the Smile movie, and there's the scene where she's stabbing the insane dude, and like her boss is in there and rips his face off. And everyone in the theater, everyone in the theater, like we had maybe like 20 or 30 people in the theater. Everyone laughed at that. And that was ridiculous. Like, that movie was awful, but like, Five Nights at Freddy's was better than Smile. I will give it that much. But like, I definitely laughed more at this movie than I did at Smile. Like, if I'd been in the theater, I would have probably laughed like 3 or 4 times out loud at just. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I don't understand where they were going with making the animatronics good. They made the animatronics good. Kind of. Because, like, there's the child character, and, like, once the child character goes to Fazbear's, like, they're all having fun, and, like, dead ass, the animatronics are, like, having a good time, and, like, not actively murdering the characters. Like, I was sitting back like, that's a decision. That's a decision. Not what I would have gone with. I would have gone with, like, the demons, personally. Let's just make the animatronics demonic. Like, it's not that hard. Like, sure, they're misunderstood spirits or something, but, like, why are they having fun? Why are the animatronics building a table fort? Why is this a thing that's happening? Why are we dancing? And they only had enough money in the budget for one song from the 80s. And they were so heavy-handed with the symbolism. They were trying so hard with the dream angle, is that they got the talking in your sleep song. And that's like, they play that like 4 times in the movie. It's the only song that they have throughout the entire film, basically. There's another song that's like a pop punk song that plays when they're making the table forts. And I'm just sitting here like, what am I watching? Why are we having the fun music montage in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and the animatronics are the ones having fun, and like the bunny falls back and like does the thumbs up, and I'm like, what am I watching? What am I watching? This is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? I don't know how I would have done it differently. Like I said, it would have been campy, it would have been R-rated, it would have been gory, it would have been... Like, there was this one zombie movie that I saw that was from, like, 1989 or something, and, like, it wasn't... I don't remember what it was. It played on Sci-Fi once. It's almost Halloween. I should, like, get, like, a free, like, week trial of, like, Sling TV so I can watch a bunch of horror movies on, like, AMC or Sci-Fi or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. And, like, I think the reason that they did what they did was for sequel fodder. Of course they're gonna have a sequel to this film. I don't want to reveal the twist, but, like, it's really forced. And, like, there's this police officer character who just shows up. She just shows up, and she's like, hi, I'm here, and I know a lot of things about Fazbear's. And the dude's like, okay, I'm not going to question why you're here. I'm not going to question why you're a part of this now. Oh, you're just basically you're the security guard at this point. I'm just here to be the protagonist. Why aren't you the protagonist? And then, like, she invites herself into Fazbear's all the time. Like, sometimes he'll go in and she'll already be there. And it's like, does everyone have a key to this place? Does everyone have a key to the building? Like, how is she getting in? Does she have a key? Shouldn't the main character, Matt, I think is his name. I don't even remember what his name is. Shouldn't he be the only one with a key to the place? As the security guard? Shouldn't he? But he never questions at any point, oh, she's here and knows everything about Fazbear's. Why? I'm not going to question it. She's just here. Oh, and she's having fun with the animatronics too. The officer is like, just walks in and the animatronics are like having a good time and everyone's partying and they're acting like, you know, they're acting human in nature, and they're just, they're dancing and they're building fucking table forts, and the officer is just standing there like, okay, this is fine, and Matt's just standing there like, I'm not gonna question any of this makes perfect sense. Of course officer lady is just okay with everything that's transpiring. Everything that's transpiring is just 100% fine. It's just like, no one stops for a second to be like, wait a minute, why is any of this happening? Why is anything that's happening? And he is just like, oh, my sister who is like 10 years, 15 years younger than I am. She is like, oh, these guys are ghosts. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure, fine, whatever. It's like, he seems very detached from the insane situation that he finds himself in. I think all of this would have been solved if they didn't try to have just an entirely separate plot that's entirely disconnected from Five Nights at Freddy's. This, I think, is the same problem with the Sonic movies, is that they have the human characters in the Sonic movies. There's no reason for the human characters in the Sonic movies. I don't care about these guys, their marriage problems. I don't care about this dude's sister who's, like, getting married to a government agent for some reason. I don't care. Give me Sonic jumping around, smashing robots. I don't care about this. I mean, the Dr. Robotnik origin story taking place in the human world, that's fine. That's intriguing, as a matter of fact. I enjoy that. But, like, the second movie did not need any humans in it, besides Robotnik. They could have gone to a different planet. They could have used their ring, gone to a different planet, and, like, Tails comes in and is like, oh no, Sonic, everything's collapsing. Things are bad on this planet. And then, like, they can go there, and then, like, Knuckles tracks them down, and then they're blowing stuff up on some other planet. There did not need to be human characters, is what I'm trying to say. It's completely divorced from the point of Sonic. This plot about, like, lucid dreaming has nothing to do with Five Nights at Freddy's. Why is this a part of this? Why couldn't they have just made it like some dude? If you gave me a week, I could come up with a better story. It would have been a much more fun movie, and it would have been way more faithful to the source material. But, like, I say that, like, the source material is being faithful. Like, I don't know, like, the twist doesn't really seem like it's being faithful to the, the original plot. Feels pretty divorced, we'll say. But like when the string trap came in, I was like, yo, here we go. But like the end of the movie is so goddamn stupid. Like, the entire point of the Five Nights at Freddy's games is that you're completely helpless against the animatronics. But in the climax of the film, it's discovered, actually, tasers and cattle prods stop the animatronics, which makes sense. Makes sense because they're, electronic in nature. But, like, I think that's what makes a game like Five Nights at Freddy's so scary, is that you're completely defenseless. You are completely defenseless. Like, you play a game like Fear. You play a game like Fear, you've got a gun. I never understood, like, I always thought that Fear was a horror game because literally, it's called Fear. But, like, you play the game, it's like a slightly perturbing game. It's not exactly like it's not like a Silent Hill game. Like, that's why Silent Hill's so fucking good. Although Silent Hill games are, like, completely defenseless against everything in most of those games. That's what drives up the fear factor. But, like, this dude just has a taser up his ass. Just all of a sudden, oh no, nothing's a problem anymore. And I wonder, there's a part where the animatronics, where Freddy leaves Fazbear's Pizza, goes to the main character's house, kills the aunt, Aunt Karen, kills Karen. And they never bring it up again. Freddy kills Karen. They just don't care. No, this is never brought up again. What happened? What happened after the what happened after the climax? Like, everyone lived happily ever after, but like, no, not actually, because they're definitely trying to get funds for a sequel. But like, she still died in his house. Like, and police officer lady gets stabbed, like, right here, like, right in the gut with, like, a cleaver. Not a cleaver, but, like, one of the heavy kitchen, like, chopping board knives. Like, she gets stabbed hard, and she pulls out the knife. So she's bleeding out. She's definitely dead. But they go to the hospital and visit her at the end, and she's, like, in, like, a coma. And, like, okay, a coma, maybe. But, like, she had to have bled out that entire time. Like, she got stabbed right in the intestine. They pulled that meat cleaver out of her. She's dead. She is not alive, okay? I'm not even going to accept coma. She's dead. And they visit her in the hospital, and everything's fine with that, though. They all lived happily ever after, except for that lady who's in a coma in the hospital and is definitely not going to survive that because there is no chance. But his aunt still died. What happened to her lawyer? Shouldn't her lawyer be concerned that the lady that he's representing died in the house of the dude that she's trying to sue for custody of the sister? Shouldn't he, like, be sitting back like, she fucking died in the dude's house? Is that not at all suspicious? That just goes away, though. They don't even bring it up. And I started this by saying that, why is Freddy there? If the Fazbear animatronics could leave the pizzeria, why do they even need a security guard? Why would they need a security guard if Freddy could just leave the pizzeria? It doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This movie doesn't make sense. I'm so mad. I can't believe that I have so much passion about this. I shouldn't. I've played 3 of the games. 4 if you count FNAF World, the Final Fantasy ripoff. I shouldn't care this much, but I do. This movie could have been great. And it's fine. It's not amazing. But, like, it could have been. I laughed so much during this film, but I should not have been laughing during this film. It should have been a lot. It should have been heavier. It should have been darker. It should have been R-rated. They should have leaned into it, because everyone that cared about Five Nights at Freddy's when it came out is either an adult or like 14 or 15 at the youngest. And like, they're gonna have friends that are over 18 that can take them to the fucking movie. It's like, and like, who cares? It's on Peacock. They released it on Peacock before it came to theaters. So like, kids can watch it at home anyway. They don't even need to be 18. Little Jimmy, who's 5 years old, can, crawl. 5-year-old crawl. Can go to their parents' computer, put in the Peacock password, and watch this right now. They should have made it R-rated. I don't know, dude. I'm tired. This movie should have been better. I wish they hired me to do it. I wish they put a little tiny smiley face somewhere in this movie to pay me service for my video that has 6,991,000 views and made my career. I still think about this video. Dude. It's been sitting at 6.9 million views for a long time, which is funny. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been this video. Look at that! My 5th highest video in views is now the Can You Win a Championship in Thunder 2004 without upgrading your car. Wow, when did that happen? That passed the 2013 Steam Edition first time play reactions. Damn. That's cool. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. This has been Kamikaze Games, and I will see you in whatever it is that I do next. I still want to be an extra in a fucking sci-fi original movie, by the way. Scott, if you're watching this, can I be in the next movie, bud? I won't bitch. I swear. I won't bitch about the plot, okay? I swear. Despite the fact that I've just spent the last 34 minutes and 41 seconds bitching about this movie, I will not bitch if you make it. That's all I need. That's all I need. thanks for watching. I'll see you whatever I do next. Bye.